They didn't hear the screams. That was the first mistake. When the colony of New Eden died, the Empire expected panic. Pleading. Signals begging for mercy. Earth sent nothing. No surrender codes. No diplomatic channels. No emotional broadcasts flooding subspace. Just silence. The kind of silence predators make before they strike. Admiral Varek of the Imperial Fleet stood on his bridge, watching the recordings again. Cities cracking open. Atmosphere venting into space. Human structures collapsing like fragile toys. 3 colonies erased, his tactical officer said quietly. 6 hours. Total compliance should follow. Varek nodded. That was how it always worked. Crush resistance fast. Let terror do the rest. But something itched at the back of his mind. Replay the final transmission from Earth, he ordered. The hologram flickered. A single human woman in a dark uniform filled the screen. No tears. No fear. Just eyes that looked old. You have 1 week, she said calmly, to evacuate every Imperial citizen from border systems. Murmurs rippled across the bridge. Varek frowned. That is their surrender demand? His comms officer swallowed. It appears to be a warning. The woman continued. You believe you struck first. You didn't. You triggered something older than your empire. The transmission ended. No threats. No insults. No emotional outburst. Just certainty. Varek exhaled through his gills. Bluffing. Primitives often resort to psychological tactics. Yet Imperial scouts reported something strange. Human fleet traffic had stopped. No trade routes. No civilian chatter. No patrol signatures. An entire interstellar species had gone dark. Where did their ships go? His navigator whispered. Before anyone answered, long-range sensors chimed. A new contact. Then another. Then a wall of signals, so dense the display glitched. Varek stared. These are not human ship signatures, the tactical officer said, voice trembling. Energy output exceeds Dreadnought class by orders of magnitude. The Empire had fought ancient war machines before. Nothing like this. And then the first vessel exited hyperspace. It was not built for elegance. It was built for extinction. Varek felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries. Fear. End of part 1. Continue? Yes or no? The ship didn't glide out of hyperspace. It tore its way in. Space itself warped, bending like metal under pressure. The Imperial sensors screamed as gravitational readings spiked off the scale. Officers grabbed their consoles as the bridge lights flickered. What is that? Someone whispered. It wasn't sleek like modern warcraft. It wasn't symmetrical. It looked assembled around a weapon, not a crew. A spine of armored plating ran its length, scarred and blackened like it had survived 1,000 wars. Massive heat radiators glowed along its sides. No insignias. No diplomatic markings. Just purpose. Scan for life signs, Varek ordered. Minimal, the science officer said, voice tight. Crew count extremely low for a vessel that size. Sir, this ship is mostly reactor and weapon mass. Another flash. A second vessel emerged. Then 10. Then hundreds. The stars vanished behind a forest of warships. And they kept coming. Varek felt his throat tighten. Identify the fleet. The AI struggled. Symbols flickering. Cross-referencing design lineage partially human but base architecture predates known human engineering. Predates? That's impossible, Varek snapped. A transmission cut through. No request to open a channel. No encryption. It simply overrode Imperial frequencies. The same human woman appeared. Only now, she stood in a chamber far larger than his bridge. Behind her, silhouettes of impossible ships drifted past a viewport. You had your week, she said. Varek forced himself forward. You dare threaten the Empire after? She cut him off with a look. We didn't build these for you. Silence gripped the bridge. They were built, she continued, the last time the galaxy tried to wipe us out. Varek's blood ran cold. That was 40,000 years ago. An officer dropped his datapad. Humanity hadn't evolved recently. They had returned. These are not fleets, she said softly. They're our inheritance. Behind her, something colossal moved past the viewport. A structure the size of a moon, layered in weapon arrays. Varric whispered, "How many?" Her eyes didn't blink. All of them. And every Imperial alarm began to howl at once. The alarms didn't stop. They multiplied. Red icons flooded the Imperial tactical display until the stars themselves vanished behind warning markers. Every system in the sector was lighting up with human contacts. Not warships. Something worse. Energy spikes detected across the border. The sensor chief said, voice shaking. They're not jumping in, they're activating. Activating what? Varric demanded. The answer came from the stars. Dead space stations the Empire had catalogued as ancient debris suddenly ignited with power. Silent asteroid belts unfolded into weapon grids. Comets split open, revealing shield emitters the size of cities. The galaxy itself was turning into a battlefield. These structures predate our empire, the science officer whispered. We thought they were remnants of a lost precursor race. The human woman's voice returned over comms. They were. Varric's chest tightened. 40,000 years ago, we ruled a civilization so large our empire would fit inside one of our frontier sectors, she said. Then something came. Something that culled advanced life every cycle. A chill spread across the bridge. We didn't lose, she continued. We survived by becoming small. By starting over. And we left preparations. A projection appeared. Galactic maps layered with hidden networks. Defense grids. Manufacturing rings. Ship vaults buried in stars. You didn't attack a young species, she said quietly. You woke the one that remembers. Varric slammed a claw on his console. Fire. All batteries, target the lead vessel. Imperial dreadnought cannons unleashed a storm of antimatter and plasma. The human ship didn't dodge. The blast struck its shields and vanished. Absorbed. Converted. Energy is being redirected, Tactical gasped. They're charging a weapon using our fire. On screen, the massive spinal cannon of the human vessel began to glow. Not bright. Dense. Like a star collapsing inward. Varric felt his confidence crack. Shields to maximum, he roared. The human woman spoke one last time. You had a week to leave. The weapon fired. And space in front of the Imperial fleet ceased to exist. There was no explosion. That was what broke them. The beam didn't burn. Didn't flash. Didn't roar. It simply erased. One moment, the front line of Imperial destroyers filled the void. The next, a perfect, silent corridor stretched through the fleet. Ships gone. Debris gone. Even radiation gone. Like they had never been born. Bridge crew froze. Report, Varric croaked. No wreckage, sensors replied. No energy residue. Matter conversion event at quantum level. They removed the ships from spacetime. Removed. Not destroyed. Varric felt the scale shift. This wasn't warfare. This was correction. Across the battlefield, human vessels advanced in perfect formation. Not aggressive. Not chaotic. Just inevitable. Imperial guns fired again. Desperation this time. Thousands of beams streaked through space. Human ships didn't scatter. They adapted. Shield geometries shifted mid-impact. Some attacks bent away. Others were swallowed. A few were reflected. Entire Imperial cruisers torn apart by their own fire. Enemy learning rate is accelerating, Tactical said. Their AI is evolving in real time. Of course it was. These weren't frontline fleets. They were relics of a civilization that had already survived extinction. A new alert cut in. Admiral, border relays are falling. Human forces appearing across multiple systems simultaneously. Deep core signals detected. Varric's eyes widened. Deep core? That's impossible. A holo display showed the unthinkable. Human ships emerging near Imperial capital worlds. They hadn't crossed space. They'd been waiting there, dormant, for tens of thousands of years. We mapped the galaxy, the human woman's voice returned. We knew empires would rise, expand, repeat the same mistake. Varric whispered, You planned this. We prepared, she corrected. On the main screen, a human vessel rotated, revealing a new array charging, larger than before. Targeting reticles formed, not on fleets, on stars. We don't conquer, she said softly. We end threats permanently. Varric finally understood. The Empire hadn't started a war. They'd triggered a contingency. And the next shot would not miss. Targeting stellar cores, the sensor officer whispered. The words didn't make sense at first. Then the displays zoomed in. Human weapons were not locking onto ships. Not stations. Not cities. Stars. Varric's blood went cold. They wouldn't. They will, the human woman said, her image filling every screen uninvited. Your empire's power comes from population density. Infrastructure. Industry clustered around stars. She paused. So we remove the stars. Panic shattered the bridge. That's genocide, Varric roared. She didn't argue. You erased 3 of our worlds to send a message, she replied. We are responding proportionally. Across the tactical map, Imperial worlds flashed red. Then one went dark. No explosion. No nova. The star at the center of System Harkon simply dimmed and went black. A silence heavier than death spread across the bridge. Stellar fusion halted, science said hoarsely. They've forced the star into artificial collapse. All planets, frozen within hours. Varric felt his empire slipping. Open surrender channels, he barked. All frequencies. A beat. Then the human woman nodded slightly. Evacuation corridors will be provided, she said. Civilian vessels only. Military ships that power weapons will be erased. Varric sagged. This wasn't rage. This was policy. Why give us mercy? He asked, voice hollow. Her eyes hardened. Because someone once gave it to us. A new contact appeared on sensors. Not human. Something vast. Ancient. Emerging from deep space beyond the battle zone. The woman's expression changed. For the first time. Concern. It found us again, she whispered. Varric looked at the growing signal, dwarfing fleets, distorting space. What is that? Her answer chilled every soul on the bridge. The reason we built all of this. The new contact didn't jump in. It unfolded. Space peeled back like fabric, revealing something that didn't move through the universe. The universe moved around it. Sensors failed one by one. Scale? Varric asked. Unknown, came the reply. Mass readings inconsistent. It's not a ship. It's a structure. A system. A reaper, the human woman finished. Across human and imperial channels alike, emergency protocols triggered. Not panic. Coordination. You've fought this before? Varric asked. We survived it, she corrected. Barely. The ancient entity pulsed. Entire regions of space flickered out as if existence itself blinked. Human megastructures across the sector activated in unison. Beams lanced out not to destroy but to contain. Gravitational nets. Quantum anchors. Space-time locks. It harvests advanced civilizations, she said. Resets the galaxy every few million years. Varric stared at the thing devouring starlight. And we just rang the dinner bell. Yes. Imperial and human ships began moving together, formation patterns syncing despite centuries of hostility. You're sharing tactical data with us? Varric asked, stunned. You're alive, she replied. That makes you an ally. For the first time, Imperial guns fired with human targeting solutions. Combined volleys struck the entity's surface, tearing away layers of impossible geometry. It reacted. A wave of distortion rolled outward. Dozens of human relic ships shattered. Imperial cruisers folded like paper. Still, the net tightened. The woman looked exhausted now. This is why we stayed small, she said. Why we hid. Every time civilizations grow, too loud it comes. Varric swallowed. Can it be killed? A long pause. Not permanently, she said. But it can be hurt. Driven back. Made to sleep. And the cost. Her gaze drifted to the burning battlefield. Everything we saved. Human superstructures began overloading, channeling impossible energy into a final containment field. The entity screamed, not sound, but reality twisting in agony. Light consumed the void, and Varric wondered which species would still exist when it faded. The light faded slowly, not like an explosion ending, like a wound closing. Where the ancient entity had been, space looked scarred, twisted, but empty. Sensors struggled back online. No contact, Varric whispered. Cheers didn't come. There were too many empty signals. Human relic fleets gone. Megastructures that had slept for ages, burned out. Entire regions of space dim where defensive networks had sacrificed themselves. The human woman reappeared, her uniform scorched, bridge behind her dark. It's contained, she said quietly. For another cycle. Varric exhaled a breath he didn't remember holding. You saved us. She shook her head. We saved time. Across the galaxy, surviving fleets, imperial and human, floated together in silence. You could still destroy us, Varric said. We wronged you. Her eyes were tired. Ancient. You're not the enemy, she said. You're young. The word hit harder than any weapon. We were like you once. Loud. Expanding. Certain we owned the stars. She looked toward the scar in space. That certainty nearly ended everything. Varric lowered his gaze. What happens now? She gave a small, humorless smile. Now you learn. Data streams open between species. Star maps. Warnings. Records of past cycles. Instructions for building hidden defenses. For surviving quietly. Humanity will shrink again, she said. Fade into the background. But we'll be watching. Varric understood. Not rulers. Not conquerors. Custodians. As her signal began to fade, he asked one last question. Why protect a galaxy that keeps hurting you? She paused. Because someone has to be old enough to know better. Her image vanished. In the silence that followed, the Empire didn't celebrate. They rebuilt. And for the first time in their history, they were afraid of growing too fast.